every member of APC and every Nigerian for at least the prayers that we have been asking God to actually make president to declare for the presidency for the second time, which is his constitutional right. So in my opinion, I call age a number, because this is the first government that has actually nominated younger people in the affairs of government. For the first time, if you look at most of the major agencies in this country, are actually run by people in the 40s. Okay. So for people like us that are young, we see the future here. And for some of us that also believe in Nigeria so well, you can see a lot of unity in the way the government is formed, the way several areas where the president does not belong, works are actually going on there ahead of his own constituency to show you the love he has for every part of this country. And for those ones that are actually coming from the other side, I'm sure I can tell you that personally, on Monday that the president declared is actually like a birthday for me, when I remember how many people died due to insecurity and how many people are alive today due to the protection of our security agencies in this country, and of course the protection of God Almighty among other things. So we can just say it's actually, for me, it's a celebration. It's just like a victory for me for president to declare.
Elder.
I want to say three things, very simple. For my colleague here, he said it was a birthday. For me, it was a celebration of gratitude to God. You know, when the president was sick, my family were sick too. It's not good for your president to die in office. Go ask everybody. I was in Germany when they announced the death of Virador. People were feeling sorry for me, as if my world has collapsed. So I kept praying to God. If nothing else, save him. Number two, the goodwill that the president enjoyed when he went to Maiduguri for campaign. Myself and my editors, we were shocked. I've never seen a massive knowledge, massive conglomeration of young men. They were climbing on trees to eye the president. When he came down, he asked the president for the very first time. Yes, one man who left PDP entered the APC called Chief Marcus Wabara. He held a press conference of about 50 people. In 1 hour, the hall was filled to the brim. The people in the hotel came and asked him, "You told us 50 people?" He said, so long as the thing was announced that he was going to give a press conference on Buhari's declaration, I realized that this president has enormous goodwill. Enormous.
But you just mentioned something.
Yes.
When you speak, he said he asked the vice president,
yes,
can we meet up the aspiration of
these people? Yeah. Yes.
But right now, with the look of things, 3 years down the line,
yes,
has it met the aspiration of the people?
You see, my brother, I can tell you one thing. Nigeria is a country of hope. Whoever is in the business of politics in this country will know that every time there's a leader is elected, the expectations always go up. The reason is simple. Nigerians, since independence and since during the military rule up till now, Nigeria has suffered a lot of recklessness in governance.
Okay.
So the moment democracy came, people jumped at it, thinking this is the time we're going to be free for so many things. Okay. Unfortunately, for 16 years, Nigerians suffered the brunt of corruption, insecurity, lawlessness, and also. So when
the Nigerians were able to afford common amenities that they can't afford now. Things were built, even in the past of the corrupt time, like we've all been told that the first 60 years was impunity and corruption. But life was a bit easier then than it is now. Why so?
But let me conclude on this, sir. Sorry. From where I come from, I always like to use my village, among several other villages I visit. People believe in farming. And for the first time, I've seen people migrate from one stage of life to another just because they decided to go to the farmlands, plant, and real. This is uncommon in the north. I'm telling you, a lot of people, 60% of people have abandoned farming in the past.
And they've gone back to farming.
They've gone back to farming.
Elder, but with the prevalent attack of the herdsmen,
Yes.
is that not a dent on the farming issue? Because people, yes, like he said, I would have loved to go back to farm. Everybody would love to go back to farm, but there were these incessant killings that took place and that was pushing the farmers out of the farm.
Yes. The thing honest about it all is that Nigeria has grown in leaps and bounds. Number one. Number two, the president himself, Megaskia Nigeria, he himself is a farmer.
Is he still worthy of that title?
Oh yes,
Nigeria?
he doesn't tell
Why
a lie.
he doesn't tell a lie? It's all promises that were made
No, but-
during the campaign.
And it's not because
Some of them have not been met.
I'll-
Nigerians are not feeling
I'll
happy
tell you.
about that.
I'll tell you this. I asked you a question. I told you the president came and saw millions surrounding him, and they said you cannot move. Just go home. We've seen you. We only wanted to see you. He told me that the man has been loved. But let me tell you,
Yes, he has been loved.
in earnest, herdsmen, farmers' problems are occurring in 21 African nations. I can name them now.
We
It's
agree.
in Niger, it's in Chad, it's in Ghana.
We agree.
The issues are the population growth of nations. Look at what has happened in Chad. My grandmother used to go there and buy fish. There's no fish in that Lake Chad region. Reason, the populations are moving. And these herdsmen who are moving, they're moving with their cattle. What was the mistake was the failure of our agricultural minister. I name names. It's not Buhari's job to go and end the problem. He would have been able to marshal out proactively a program to curb farmers. Because listen,
And the box stops at the
it's stable. I told him in a program I said to him, you're the third farmer. He says, Elder. I said, you failed. You allowed the president to be bombarded with farmers, herders, and yet you're the Minister of Agriculture.
So he now falls on the offices because for the president to have appointed these people, it's their duty to
Yes.
make sure that they help the president achieve this.
And
So any failure that we
Yes.
see in this government now falls on the lap of those who were appointed to do their
Yeah,
job.
but the point I'm making here is, in the name of God, this president who is 74,
75.
going to 75 now. Let me say this. He has love for Nigeria, extreme love for Nigeria. But what mistake he has made, and I said before, by now, there are some of his ministers who are not performing. They should have been shown the way. Young men like my colleague here should have gotten a job to do for the nation. Some of these people who are working for the president, they don't know which end is up. They have no clue. They should have retired. So that people who want this nation to move forward should have been appointed 1 year ago. It's only 8 months election. You can't do anything now. People say to him, President, sir, there are people who are spoiling your goodwill. He is one president in Nigeria. If you put all the African heads of state, who has recovered over 3 trillion naira in only like 3 years, and that's a lot of money.
Elder, yes, recovery of 3 trillion, beautiful.
Yes.
Sounds delicious.
Yes.
But how it's not putting food on the table of the common man. Nigerians are not feeling the impact of all this recovery. We've heard of trillions of nairas, foreign currencies recovered by the EFCC. What is stopping this money from being thrown back in? Let Prince being thrown back into the system so that this money can start reflecting in the life of the common man.
Let me tell you something I was bold to do. There was a policy of treasury single account.
Yes.
Where a lot of funds are, you will see a parastatal with 70, 80 bank accounts. Funds for capital projects are being in fixed deposit, and the heads of parastatals and agencies are actually making use of this money. Banks that should be awake to their responsibility to build the private sector, not depending on the public sector funds to grow their banks, were relying on public sector funds. When this government came into power, in most of all these monies are kept in CBN. These monies could have been in private pockets. I can tell you that. And from my little understanding of economics, I know that some of these funds is one of the reasons why we have a very strong economy, because our savings is
the
growing by
economy
day.
strong?
Yes.
In my opinion, it is.
In
While
your
I'm
opinion, I like that. It's
Well,
in your opinion.
yes, because I'm entitled to my opinion as a Nigerian.
definitely,
yes,
definitely.
I won't be able to bestow my own opinion
guess
on
our
everyone
best,
that was.
yes.
Yes, but while we're at that, all these monies that you see that are recovered right now could have been in private pockets, and I can tell you, the way funds are being stolen and people are impoverished are one of the reasons for economic insecurity in this country. There are parastatals that could have provided services for the common man in the country. 100 million naira could be allocated for a particular project. It will be in a private pocket. Such funds that could be used for provision of healthcare in our communities. Water in most of our, even irrigation right now is getting a lot of funding because the government is moved from ordinarily
Single pockets
to now a capital expenditure. Those funds are set aside for that, and Nigerians could see that in most places.
But looking at it now, for the past 3 years consecutively, the budget of this country is over 20 trillion. It has been, like you said, moving around, but the tangibility is not there. People are not seeing the tangible effects of all this investment. It's a good thing too. Some of us wouldn't know until people like you who are working close to the government tells us that something is moving here. So it's either the presidential media team are busy doing propaganda and trying to make all those, it's sort of telling us, because there was a challenge.
No.
Let me come. There was a challenge on the, if you saw it on the social media, where they were asking that anybody that could pinpoint exactly one thing that this present administration has started.
No, NS, I can give you. Yesterday's press conference, I was shocked. Marcus Mabara, he's going to come to this too.
Definitely.
He wrote 10 reasons to re-elect Buhari.
Okay.
He named things you could see, you could feel. The
Like
Onisha Enugu Expressway.
It is by this government.
Yeah, but you want
it's funded properly.
We're talking about tangibility.
But we were looking at what. Okay.
No, I'm coming. The thing like the Sukuk bomb has been used to sponsor critical infrastructure, roads that were not touched by anybody.
Okay.
Now go to the Anchor Borrowers Program. 8.3 million farmers who were not farmers before have gotten money. 6.7 million children eat every day. This program in the whole of Africa. Marcus Wambara, who was from PDP, he's now an APC chief. He showed me says 10 reasons to re-elect Buhari.
Okay.
And each of these ministries that the president has touched, physical evidence. Look at the Abuja railway. Go look at it. Look at the one that did now to tackle. 4 companies are rebuilding Abuja, what do you call it, the 6th FCT. Go look at the increase.
So we are in agreement that it's a continuum, that yes, it continued what the other government left.
Yes, the 7 megawatt of electricity. I've had light in my house for the last 8 days.
Where do you live, sir?
I live in Guarimpa. And it's
8 days.
As I'm talking now, my wife come.
I like that. Okay, you mentioned something about when he went to Maiduguri, the crowd and all that. Did you see the rally of the PDP some days ago in Katsina?
I was in Katsina too as a journalist.
You saw the crowd?
I took a team, but let me tell you what happened. And you will laugh about it. I thank God that PDP did not die. I will not pay for opposition to die. But some of them, they don't know that I hear a little bit of Hausa. And they were asking them, when are they going to share our money? And I said, which money is that? They told me that.
It was a rented crowd?
Please.
Why would the PDP have such money to pay? Because they are not in government.
I'm on air.
It's been the practice in PDP to rent crowds and pay them. But that even
to add that,
practice. Yes, to PDP, yes.
But majority of your big wigs now in the APC were in the PDP.
You see, let me tell you the question here. That is why I was telling someone today, APC-led government does not have enemy. The only enemy the APC-led government has is the enemy of the Nigerian state. If you are doing a lot of evil things in the government over the years and you have decided to now seek for forgiveness from God and say you want to render services to the people,
Okay.
APC will welcome you and you will come. We are not, even God is a merciful God,
Okay.
the one that created all of us.
Now,
so if you are in PDP yesterday and you were doing atrocities and you have moved to APC right now and you want to change your life, you'll be welcome. And I can
so
tell
what
you,
now happens to the atrocities you committed that have affected the ordinary?
Transparent, investigative system in this
What I
government
am asking
right
you
now.
now, these people were criminals in the former party, and they now was carpeted to the ruling party, and all of a sudden, their names are not mentioned anywhere as criminals anymore.
You see,
Nobody's.
That brings me
to Luther's list.
Yeah, let me throw a bombshell
Okay.
now. The minister released a list. And
Firstly,
people,
that
wait,
list.
the first
Where
list.
did it come from?
I'm coming. Second list came out. And many people in the governing party did not know. I can tell you as a journalist, on the 26th of April, we were going to honor Governor Okezie Ikpeazu as the most distinguished governor in the country. And many people asked us to wait.
Okezie Ikpeazu is a PDP governor.
Yes, but you can imagine that our magazine is honoring him on 26th of April here in Abuja. And many people have been calling and saying, please, I hope his name is not released. I said, no, it can't be because he loves patriotism and the magazine, that is the major national magazine, is honoring him. But the point I'm making is this, here in Abuja, the next list would shock you. The next list, even you.
Oh, you have a privilege. In fact, my name might be in it.
No, yes, no, not you. I know you're my friend. You don't know that list. The minister has been asking people. The next list would be a bumper.
It did mention, but
Yes.
some people have reviewed that list has dented the image of Nigeria.
Yes.
That list has instead promoted us to the world as a very corrupt entity, which is not supposed to be the case, because other countries worldwide, they tend not to sell the bad image. They sell the good image, where internally they work on repairing. Unlike our own country, especially with this government, we're fond of blacklisting ourselves.
Yes, that's
we're fond of telling people in the world that we are.
That's because most of Nigerians, with all due respect to most of us, will have turned to journalists. You carry your mobile phone, you see a picture, you send a story. A journalist that might not be ethically professional enough will pick it up and it becomes a story. This is the practice. And I can tell you this, sending information about corruption, propagating it for people to be well aware of these atrocities is a good thing. The only reason why it's a good thing, but let me tell you, yes, no, why sometimes people like maybe other international organizations who see it as a bad thing is because most of this corruption is actually being encouraged by some of these governments. I can tell you this. £1 million, maybe 500 million naira, and you want to move it to a bank in Scotland or a bank in London. If there is actually a very good system to legality and also check the anonymous, most of these anonymous companies they used to actually take your money out, it will have brought a lot of sanity in money going in there. So propagating this information, in my opinion, as an African, as a Nigerian, I think is a good thing because it actually exposes people.
But some of the opinion that it affected our economy because some of the major investors in this country, because of those policies and those wrong statements, pulled up their phones.
Yes.
That led to the recession.
Yes. In my opinion, I think this is a propaganda. I can tell you this. No responsible company anywhere in the world that would think of coming to an African country like Nigeria to invest because there is information about propagating corruption and all that, and you want to withdraw his or her fund. I think it's funny. In my opinion, if you want to invest in any society in the world, you should think about a long-term benefit of such funds to that community and to your own.
Even some long-term companies pulled out. We had Dunlop, we had all these other
let me tell you sincerely, my brother, if you listen to the last finance commissioner and coordinator of the economy,
that's
Konjiwala, she spoke to us in London. No matter who brought in May 2015, what happened because it's been run like that. She gave a lot of advice to Jonathan, our former president,
And said he did that the political
who
will.
didn't listen. She predicted. He said, no, nobody's calling her. But let me tell you, Ernest, we're talking about our image. I'm a public relations consultant.
Which I have too.
One of the best in this country. And I can tell you,
I need to follow your footsteps.
the British Prime Minister said that Nigeria was fantastically
Fantastic.
You know the meaning of being fantastically corrupt?
That's your,
The way we were in corruption. And when we asked the president, is it true that Nigeria is fantastically corrupt? The man looked and
He
said,
said,
are we not fantastically
are we
corrupt?
not saying it?
So where do we hide
But the
it?
president could have also come out to say, that's the opinion of the prime minister, that my country is not fantastically corrupt. We have issues like every other country.
But-
and we are going to
But he
work
said
on
something
it.
similar to that because he said,
That's
bring
what
our
we
money.
Yes,
He said to them,
yes.
bring all this. See, let me
Since
tell
they
you,
have attacked
if they can move some of the funds from most of these UK banks to Nigeria
Yes,
today,
yes.
Sir,
you don't know the
it's still brings me to
transformation.
the question, the ones that have been moved, the ones that have been received,
And it's what
how far is it touching the life of the... See, my concern here is the man on that street.
And it's a mission to
How can you bring...
I really want to respond on this. Let me tell you this. You see, we're in a democracy right now.
Definitely.
It's a system of government where rule of law must prevail. You can't, for example, most of the people forfeit funds because they are stolen.
Yes.
They either freeze their funds or like maybe get it. The cases are in court.
Yes.
It is the court to judge.
When
After the judgment is done, there is no Nigerian government because you have forfeited money. They will just start carrying and start. No.
Then is it not treasury for you to now list out names of people who are alleged to be corrupt?
Because some
whose
of them have
cases-
admitted.
Whose cases are in court.
Let me tell you what is happening.
Yes.
Some
During
of
the
the cases are
Jonathan,
in court.
during the Jonathan administration, there was this thing, what do they call it? You steal money, then you pay for
Plea bargain.
plea bargain. Very well.
Yes.
Some of these people will admit that they want to pay money after stealing maybe 1 billion. Maybe they will say they are paying 800 million. The moment they realize that they started releasing this money, some of them, their lawyers will tell them no, that or they will be ill-advised and they will start going to court. And they frustrate these processes. That's one part. The other part is, if these funds are forfeited, our judiciary, which has been doing so well in my opinion in most cases, will now try to help these cases so that they will actually be concluded on time, and this one could actually be used by the government. So remember, in the democracy, we have a judiciary which is independent. So the president cannot just sit down and say, funds.
Is the judiciary really independent?
Yes, I was independent in as far as they are allowed to give judgment. But let me say something
Pertaining this.
helping him.
Okay.
We have three arms of government. Ernest, if you brought $200 million now, just like the Swedes have done, and gave it to the federal government, they are not allowed to spend it. They have to go through the appropriation law, saying this is the amount of money we've received. Though we plan to spend 8.3 trillion
For this
yes,
and that.
but now we have new money. It's called appropriation budget. That's why the people were asking him, if you are going to spend $1 billion
On arms.
on arms, where did you write it in the appropriation law?
Yeah.
So as you are saying, many people are asking.
And that is what brought to the denial.
Yes.
At first,
That's
the
right.
Minister of Defense did come out to say
Yes.
the money has been, the President has settled.
Because
the money.
NSC, you only the media.
The Senate, the National Assembly came out and said, no, you can't touch that money.
NSC,
without
you
going
get
on.
in the media.
And then it was a turnaround.
The NSC, you guys in the media, you are really building a healthy democracy. The way my friend Garba Shehu knows that there are several television stations, radio stations, that were keeping them on their toes. You know when John Kerry came here,
Yeah.
he said the Nigerian mass media is 10 miles ahead of the
Of the
government.
government, yes.
And you know when we press, what happened? The president said, oh no.
That's what the real campaign is about. We need to keep you people
Yes.
on your toes.
That's right.
And that's why I'm asking the question that the back and forth between the presidency
Yes.
and some of the officials.
Yes.
Sometimes the minister will come out and say this.
Yes.
Later, the president's spokespeople will come out and say, no, that is not the case. Like in the case of the 1 billion.
Yes.
The minister of defense come out to say it has been taken care of
Yes.
and released. Only for the senior special assistant to the president on National Assembly Senate
And that's
to
what
come out and say that is not the case, that the president
see, in
did not
most
release any funds. So who is telling the truth?
And in most cases, the misconception we always have with governance is this. People feel that the moment they said so funds has been appropriated, I just want to give you an example of a
Has been
misconception
released, not even
of
appropriated.
500 billion of the other program that I think SA Ways is handling on school feeding programs, all that. The releases of such funds are less than 25%, which is like less than 90 billion.
So
But it's all out there that
in trenches.
yes, it's the trenches, and the reason is because these funds, you do a budget. Budget is just like coming to write a program. That I'm going to do A, B, and C over this period. And these funds, if they are not available, in most cases, that's where you could be in deficit sometimes, or some things could be suspended in most cases.
Okay, we'll go on a short break. When we come back from the break, we'll look at more of this, and then we'll talk about the president's trip to London and England and the protests that happened.
Okay.
There was a protest yesterday, so we'll look at the protest, and vis-a-vis we'll talk about medical tourism.
That's right.
A bit too, before we'll wrap up the program. Don't go anywhere. The recamping will be back just after this break.
Welcome to Living Treasures Academy. Enjoy a conducive and serene learning environment. Qualified and experienced teachers. Equipped computer laboratory and library. Secured atmosphere. Extracurricular activities. An all-embracing curriculum for total development of the child. Comprehensive education for leadership. Join us today from crèche to secondary levels. Living Treasures Academy, committed to excellence.
Nigerians have tested political parties, religion and age. It is time to get a bridge builder to heal the wounds. Hassan Dan Kwambo. Under your watch as Executive Governor of Gombe State, you have been able to manage the state's resources in view of the numerous projects so far completed and the low statutory federal allocations accruable to the state. With your landmark achievements in healthcare, youth employment, women empowerment, road infrastructure, pipe-borne water, security, education and agricultural development, we are sure of a better Nigeria. 2019 is not about power or change, but rather it is about Dan Kwambo to replicate his humility and servant leadership. Dan Kwambo, Nigeria. Nigeria, Dan Kwambo.
For almost a decade, the Nigerian army have given their all to ensure that our dear country is not overrun by Boko Haram insurgents. Some have in the process paid the ultimate price, while many will forever live with indelible scars occasioned by their determination to protect the country, no matter the hurdle. Despite these, they have remained resolute and undaunted, and today, all territories the insurgents once took control of have been recaptured and normalcy restored. And now, for the first time in a long time, the end of Boko Haram is foreseeable. Therefore, the wisest thing for the remaining insurgents to do is to surrender today or face total destruction from the army. Remember, the Nigerian army will stop at nothing to ensure that total peace is restored in all parts of the country. So, be wise and embrace peace today or get ready to be ruthlessly dealt with. This message is brought to you by the Coalition on Conflict Resolution and Human Rights in Nigeria.
All right, I welcome you back to the program, The Real Campaign on Television Nigerian. I've been talking with these two gentlemen, Elder Emmanuel Okoro, who is the editor-at-large of the Verbatim magazine, and Prince Sule Iko Sami, who is a public analyst and also a politician. And they've been doing the best they can to convince me and Nigerians on why we should vote for President Muhammadu Buhari as second term. President is in London to meet with some people, some very important people. And lo and behold, yesterday, there was a protest outside the Abuja in London. What was going on? What was that all about?
Well, let me tell you this, Ernest. I thank God for when the president came to the day. I saw a healthier, stronger, happier president of Nigeria stepping on British soil. I was in New York when there was a massive protest against Trump. It's evidence of democracy. Speak your mind.
Freedom.
Trump will have the largest protest that any American president will go through.
So,
even those in England.
So it's okay for this to happen.
Yeah, it's a vote.
Because the presidency that chose to do better.
I told that Russia. If 10,000 people demonstrated against our president, we have about 70 million Nigerians.
Right.
So not 10,000 in England who have not come back to Nigeria to know what we're doing.
But they are not inconsequential.
What about being consequential? We are here with our president. They are there in UK saying he should not run. To run is his fundamental right. And in the APC, he's guaranteed 2 tenures. So,
but now, you just mentioned the is guaranteed 2 tenures. Is this going to be a case of a sole candidature, or we will go through the rudiment of selection?
It's a democracy. If you ask me, as a member of any party, whoever the opinion will always be like, I would love my party leadership to take over the power. But this is democracy. Nigerians will cast their votes.
I'm talking at the party level during the primaries to select the flag bearer.
No, but
will it be a case of, since the party is with him, will it be a case of a single candidate?
It has been a tradition where incumbents are given that honor. It's a political tradition. It's not a dictatorial party.
Okay.
It has been a tradition that if you have a leader of a party in a state or even federal that is coming out to contest, most people will try to bow and give him the support. It's not in our constitution that we have candidate that is totally not going to be challenged. No, it's not in the constitution of the party.
Okay, in your candid opinion, has the APC failed in any way, and you think they could make amends here or there?
let me say this now, Ernest. Nigeria to clean the rot of 16 years.
Okay.
And the indexes were there. Nigerians were waiting to get correct solutions to those problems. However, the party was pushed out of governorship in the last 2.5 years.
So pushed out of this.
And so they were unable to the progressive government of Megatia. And the reason
credible opposition.
Who pushed you out?
They couldn't provide credible
No,
opposition.
there was problem in the
Yes.
PDP as of there. But in the APC too, you had your own internal ranking that almost tore the party apart until the last next meeting.
Before that, let me tell you this. Let me respond on the issue of protests in London. What makes you so sure that 50% of that crowd is not coming to do support for Baba? Why are we interested in the negative? We are so interested in those ones chanting, which could be sponsored, just like the way PDP went to London the other time. They were giving people $100 to come out and do a rally. You know that it was on
Can you
air.
substantiate that?
It was on air.
Well,
people responded. They were giving money.
Just like it is on air that they're protesting now. And
Yes, we don't.
It could be some voices.
Yes, it's democrat. Voices are very well allowed. Some of them, even their leaders of some of those parties have actually. It's okay. It's democracy. But I can tell you, majority of those people that are over there could actually need some of our supporters. But they were just quiet because maybe and all that.
But I now ask that question.
Yes, and no other issue you mentioned for the party.
APC, that as the APC failed in any way, that you feel they could have done better.
You see, we have a party that has a program. And the program of a party is being centered towards achieving some of these programs. It's not possible for government to come and have 100% achievement of their programs. But it's a work in progress.
Do we even have 25%?
Yeah, we do have more. We have 60%.
As of right
I
now,
have more than 60%.
because
I can tell you that.
before the election, one of the things that really brought this government to power was the mantra of change.
Yes.
And a lot of things that were promised.
Yes.
Some of those promises have not been
The changes are there. As a Nigerian right now, I know
our
road network.
Our fuel moved from 87 naira to 147 and 145 for the subsidy.
Yes.
That before Migeskia came in,
Yes.
said that there was no need to pay subsidy. But just a few days ago, Kachuku said we are paid 1.4 trillion for subsidy. What are we subsidizing?
And there's something, you raised 3 issues and I want to resolve them here. We said, when Mr. President comes around again, we will make sure he would have core competent technocrats from the party. I'm coming.
Why is it not happening them now?
No, but it's too late to change your winning horse. Now look at it. We have now seen that the president talked to the media once in 3 years.
Once.
We said we will correct that. We please take something
that he didn't do right.
That he didn't, because the president is not Mr. Perfect.
No, he's not. That is why
our party is not perfect.
That is why he appointed these people who are supposed to be the people that we guide him. Because like my boss here, for example,
Yes.
now, he can't come here and do all the job.
Yes.
That's why he has me. He has other people to work for him. My duty is to make sure I deliver.
Yes.
And if I don't deliver, I will be kicked out.
I want you to understand one thing about change that will always misconceived. This is the government that came with one of the highest expectations in the history of Nigeria's democracy. And the reason is just simple. Nigerians have been battered from every corner, from insecurity to all sorts of things. So the expectations were very, very high. And it was difficult, just like the way the president said in Maiduguri, over the overwhelming expectations Nigerians were showing, whether we could meet that. And I can tell you that, being him acknowledging the fact that he's not a very perfect leader, he's a human being like all of us. Policies are meant to not to be able to be successful. But I can tell you this, and practically clear. The same reason that made most of us lives and all we have for the emergence of president from CPC up to the time he came under APC to become, because we believe in his integrity. And I can tell you, he's a man of integrity. He can't have it all. But changes are gradual.
His integrity is not in doubt. Yes. But if you are the only sane person amongst mad people, or you are the only clear-minded person amongst thieves, definitely you will be solved.
Now let me tell you, Enes, I said, what I'm expecting is that when you do research in urban Nigeria, we are sitting in the media talking about Buhari. Rural Nigeria voting back. Rural Nigeria
100%.
That's where the votes are. If you go to Kano, you go to Southwest, people are saying, in each, I give you an example, in the Southeast, this chieftain of the APC called Makamba has given me 10 reasons to vote.
He just moved in.
No, he didn't just move in. No. He's been building a core aggregate group in Abia,
okay,
that cannot make noise to say, since he came in, 5 major Nigerians have moved into the APC into Abia State.
Okay.
And it's making people say, we've never had it so good.
Okay. Now the Obasanjo coalition.
Yes.
There's a coalition movement right now.
Yes.
And they have 3 million people already in their camp, and the emergence of the SDP and other political parties. With this, some people moving even from your party to this party. With this kind of movement, do you see the APC winning this race?
Let me tell you the mistake most of our political and government leaders are making in the past. The election of President Buhari was not done by the elites. The nomination of President Buhari was not elite agenda. It was the agenda of the common man in this country. Which is the reason why you see all this tsunami of people moving. Because if you don't follow the president and his party, you go to your community, you lose election. It's clear. I can speak from the part where I'm coming from. If you go against the president, you lose the
Even
election.
if the president is not meeting up your expectations.
I am speaking because of the expectation he has always been meeting,
Now,
and because of his
you-
integrity as a person.
You
I'm
made,
telling
you made one statement here that the people were bastardized.
Battered.
During the former
By the former
government.
regime, yes.
But people are complaining more in this regime than then.
And
Why?
please let me make this statement.
Doctor, let me correct
There are
this.
two sections.
Let me
He
let
talked
me
about
conclude.
elites.
Yes.
And the rural
And
The
this is what
rural
people-
masses are the ones complaining today because
no,
you know
no,
why?
no, no.
Why? You know why I said they are complaining? I am also one of them because I go to the same market as this people.
No, you
go to the market
That's
now.
why I'm coming, sir.
And it's
That's
the
why
market in
I-
Abuja.
That's why, no, not only in Abuja. I go to the village sometimes. I travel around. The problem is that poverty is the same name wherever it is.
Yes, the same doesn't
The
have a tribe.
level of hunger that is fighting the people now is worse than it was during the former government. Why? Because prices of things have skyrocketed. I didn't mention, you remember there was an occupation.
Yes.
When President Jonathan came out to increase the pump price of fuel.
Yes.
From, I think, from 65 naira to 85. It was 87,
Yes.
and later it was reduced to 85.
Yes.
It was an occupation
Yes.
because they said he was removing subsidy.
Yes.
This same Geskia and other people, including Lai Mohammed, they come out to say there was no subsidy. It is a scam.
Yes.
So, but this government now have paid subsidy what over even when they refused to pay, there was scarcity of oil throughout December. So the worst that ever happened in Nigeria. And you're telling me and telling Nigerians now that we should go back to vote.
And
for this.
and
Why should we?
Let me tell you something, please. Let's make it clear. I keep repeating it. There are 10 tangibles Nigerians can touch with Buhari, but 3 years or 4 years will never be enough for a man to satisfy 180 million people. Did you listen to what the
But when you were promising me
No.
that vote for me, I will get you these things.
Who set you on the pathway?
You didn't tell me you sent on the pathway. You told me I would get them.
And it's
And
not-
we're trying
It was
to
short.
get there.
It was sure. It's
Yes,
taking
we'll
too
get
long.
And it's when I came
Well,
here.
is it when all Nigerians are dead that we'll get there?
And it's when I came to the studio.
When I say we get
Nobody
there,
told me I'm going to be in a hot studio. But I have found that I'm in a hot studio and I'm adjusting.
My studio is not hot.
okay,
Because I've been adjusting.
Ernest, I can.
But now I discovered that this is what happened.
This is the first time.
president entered the country and found that there were changes, something within, for example, our treasury was very low.
Oh.
And he had to
There
work
was
hard.
30 billion in that treasury.
And are you expecting
No, 30 billion on paper.
No, not on paper. Real.
Because remember, these monies
It was that
were
paper,
removed.
real.
These monies were removed
Real.
and spent on campaign.
The same way that $1 billion now has just been voted to be released.
No. Let me correct this.
Nobody released the
This
money.
government does not go open vote and share dollars. It don't do that. This government does not come and say, go at CBN and collect 40 billion or 30 billion and go and do campaign. This government will never do that and will not be able to accept that. While I'm at that, I can tell you this. The government came with a mantra of change, and change, we had an agenda, which are 3 agendas. We have corruption, economy, security. And you could see that several quarters of this country have actually received a lot of frustration in the way security activities are actually being done. You know that. People go killing armed forces and wearing their uniforms and go to communities and killing people. Some of them are coming from Chad, have moved from Libya after the fall of
What is the
Gaddafi among
government?
federal.
See,
Wait.
Prince, these are excuses.
They are not.
No, sorry, because if people are coming from foreign countries into my country to invade my people, what is the government doing?
That is why
to
the first
curtail
time,
that?
for the first time, 2 weeks ago, I was around Seme area. I can tell you, I was watching when 3 trucks with food items and human beings were actually caught just at that Seme. When they were blowing the siren, I was asking the next security man there, just close to Lagos, why are these people celebrating all this? And they said they have caught about 100 people that were crossing the border, and they caught 3 trailers of food items. they were bringing into this country. That means some of our border is awake. No,
Okay,
it means that
okay, the ones that are caught.
yes,
caught
well,
people are awake.
and I can tell you that is the work. Just like I tell you, we are trying to have more police. The number of immigration officers are actually being increased. Customs and all
I
that
wanted to even
is a
ask
gradual
that
thing.
we have very minimal policemen, about 40,000 against 180 million people.
Yeah.
Don't you think community policing and state policing would have been a better option?
There was a document, I think Princeton must have read it, produced by El Rufai. If you get hold of it.
That's the one he wrote to the president?
That's right. I asked him, Your Excellency, these things you wrote down here, are they achievable? These are practical, common sense solutions to this kind of highly placed political problem. For example, community policing, the state government should be awake. You know, honest, I am worried. Our people always say, Buhari. What if that says governors? Do they just come to Abuja, carry 4.something billion, and go and cross their leg? For example, I told you something now. It took time. The governor of Abia State, when we honored him, he was shocked. We said, we looked at your humane performance. We're not looking at these kind of things people look at. We look at how have you taught families.
That is my question.
Now,
the tangibility of me feeling that I can feed my family 3 times a day, that I can pay school
I'm coming
fees,
from a
I
farming
can
state.
pay
I
rent.
can tell you, I am from a state.
Eggs are cheaper. Gari is cheaper. Yams are cheaper. Right? Go to Abuja now. Go and buy.
Initially, Doctor here was telling you how many people are actually going into farming.
That's right.
In the Northwest, which I am very, very proud to tell you, that the number of people going into farming has actually, farming has
Can
actually
we say this of the Northeast?
Yes,
yeah. With the changes on insecurity, I can tell you, if you watch Kashim on TV and several other media, what he's doing right now to ensure that some of these lands that have been recovered, people have moved to their communities. As they are moving, he's empowering them with machineries, farm implements and all that, and there are people that are going back to farming. Because I can tell you there are hundreds of thousands of hectares that are there.
That's correct.
People will just need to farm them.
Okay. Our time is gradually running to a halt. But before we leave, I'll just ask. The president has gone to London. He says he's visiting. And definitely he will have to see his doctors.
Yes.
What can this government do for us to stop all this medical tourism?
Number one, I got a report.
What's wrong with our federal medical centers?
Yes.
What's wrong with our general hospitals? What's wrong with our national hospital? Why is it so difficult with all this that you have just highlighted that the presidency has done? I would have preferred to see the president take one thing first. It's okay. Today, we're declaring an emergency on health. For the next 6 months, all our center focus, in as much as other things are running, but our major key focus will be on health. And then we either refurbish all the medical centers, build the ones that need to be built, give it a world-class standard that will stop our big elites going for medical tourism.
Okay, and let me say this. I was very impressed 3 days ago when I spoke to the Minister of Health. I expressed worry about Lassa fever.
Lassa fever.
He told me that the president has put down more money in the health sector now than all the presidents put together. That what we are going to see if the budget is released will be improvement in the rebuilding of the primary health centers. So you don't bring everything to Abuja. At the village level, your primary health, and the man showed me a plan.
A blueprint.
And told me that people are going, many contractors, he says at least 200 contractors will be busy from January to December.
To build all
and he
centers.
says when we equip our primary health care centers, our maternal mortality will drop.
Definitely.
And this incidence of Lassa fever killing a doctor will stop. But God willing, the efforts of this president will be realized by Nigerians, in 2019, because the budget of 2018 is not, we've not implemented them yet.
That's why I wanted to even ask,
yes.
Why is the presidency not having a very good relationship
With the executive.
with the
legislature.
legislature. Because look at it, for example, a budget of 2017 has not yet been fully implemented. That of 2018 is still here, and we're in April. It's not yet passed.
Sadly, I can tell you, Ernest, is that democracy is something very funny, because sometimes I am shocked where we have majority of the members of our party leading the two chambers, but some protocols which are due processes they normally go through toward budget presentation, budget screening and all that before they actually
don't forget padding.
All those processes are actually going on. Some of these processes that have been delayed. But remember, this is the first time that agencies that are not even working on budget were forced to actually prepare budget and present at National Assembly so that they could defend it, and they are working on zero-based budgeting system, which has never happened in this country. The government is working towards that. And I can tell you, on the issue of health, there's so much pressure at the center, and we have forgotten that we have local government, we have state government and federal government. And some of these monies, which are more than what the federal government gets, goes to local governments and states, where you have the primary health care and the secondary health care. The federal government mostly provide the tertiary health care, which are the which are the medical centers and teaching hospitals. And I can tell you, with the introduction of TSA, an integrated payment system to all employees of this institution, the government has been able to take care of the way salaries are being paid,
goods workers,
the way funds generated by medical centers and teaching hospitals are actually remitted through TSA, and they are revolved over the way they do their services and revolve other things in the centers or teaching hospitals so that they could generate revenue for government and revenue for themselves. All those things are some of the changes of the policy of this administration. And I can tell you, the money is mopped up has made it so easy that all employees of health agencies in the country today, which is tertiaries, those are the ones that the federal government pays. They get their money before month is even approaching ending. They pay them their salaries. Interventions are coming. International organizations that are responsible, they are interested in bringing interventions, are so happy they bring in intervention to most of our health institutions right now without issues. Remember of the money sent for primary healthcare development agency when this government come about states, about primary health centers, all these funds, remember that we have to justify how we use them. And that's why this government has actually started a process of developing health center in every ward of this country. And that is a continuation of what Doctor was trying to say. Those are the projects that if budget has been passed and they have been released, it's a continuation because they've started building them in 2017. They started building them in 2016. It's been ongoing, and I can tell you, my farmers from our communities, where 60% of the farmers that have abandoned farming have gone back to farming, now they have access to health care. Yes. There is primary health care centers. In fact, maternal mortality rate, funny enough, is dropping in the northwestern part of Nigeria because most of our people are staying in villages where farmlands are there. So the extension service workers are now having access to go there feeling safe because the farmers are there, so they could provide some of this care to them, which is a process. I can tell you it's happening, and we hope it will be a better process.
Now, Ernest, let me say this.
Last word.
Please, I know and I'm predicting a very vibrant political tussle in 2000. It's not going to be easy. Exactly. Let nobody play. I know that there are over 29 aspirants coming from the north. So the president is aware that he's going to get a fight. But I know, even before the fight begins, his handiwork, I explained here, that Chief Marcus Wamara, there's something, Tupac, just so you know, Tupac.
I'll need him to come here so that he'll come and show us those 10 things.
You can tell
and I pray that day I will have people from other political
parties. And I can tell you, Emeka, you see Northwest?
Yes.
Any opposition.
Yes.
that feel that they can go to these areas in our places and say you want to go and get 10% or even 5%. You have work waiting for you. Because our people now,
that's why
our people now are in farm.
Yes.
They are in the farmland. They are generating money. Their children are going to school. So the revolution of agriculture.
The agricultural revolution started from the Jonathan government.
Yeah,
so
but it's a continuity.
continuity.
My happiness
No,
is...
I don't call it a continuity, but more of paperwork took place during Jonathan.
No, additional.
No, I am not trying. I'm telling you. No, wait. I am saying
the African
no. I'm not arguing. I said there was more of paperwork.
Okay, well,
And the real practical work is happening right
definitely,
now.
I'm going to bring you back again sometime soon to come and tell me more of this paperwork that became practical work. Definitely, I will get you to come again. I want to thank both of you. You've made the program very exciting. I want to thank you, Mr. Okoro, Elder Okoro. I want to thank you, Prince Ami, for taking time out to really come and discuss this with us. That's been our program on the career campaign. How about the great time listening to this too? What's your view? Go to our Facebook page, our YouTube page, like it, and then drop your comments. We'll get to see them. I will get to read them. But until then, just keep watching Television Nigeria, because we have fantastic programs to keep you busy all day. Until I come your way again tomorrow, I like to say, do have a blessed day, and God bless you.
Not to keep quiet on this matter.
They are killing our people back home.
Mr. Trump, please blow your trumpet.
I have so many friends going to your countries trying to get rich.
Hello viewers, welcome to the Oracle live on Television Nigeria. The Oracle is a 1-hour free consultation clinic on governance, the democratic process, peace and security matters, and global strategic issues. The Oracle is hosted by Udenta Odenta, my humble self. I'll be a guide for the 1-hour show airing every Wednesday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. The concept of the Oracle is simple. The past is rich with wisdom. The present is knowledge. The future possibility of mankind is how do we prophesy the things to come and the things to happen. That is what we tend to do and achieve in this engaging and profoundly